Welcome to this presentation on childhood development and learning from birth to 12 years. Child development and learning is guided by nature, nurture and agency. This presentation will focus on the first 4 stages of development: infancy, early childhood, middle childhood and early adolescence. There are 4 main developmental domains: physical, cognitive, social and emotional. Physical development of children from birth to 12 years focuses on the changes that occur in the body, brain, motor skills and health-related behaviour such as diet and exercise. Giselle's maturational theory explains how children's development is principally governed by genes, that all children develop in a specific order which is dependent on their biological clock. This theory has greatly attributed to the creation of developmental timetables identifying common ages children should meet certain milestones, such as sitting up, crawling and walking. However, not all children develop at the same time, and these differences are not only the results of genetics, but also the impact of experiences in their social and cultural environment. Being given opportunities to develop strength and use gross motor skills can develop attitudes towards physical activity in later life. Sleep is also very important for development. A child that does not get enough sleep is irritable and has poor concentration, which affects development in all domains. It is the time when the body rests, repairs and grows. Lack of sleep can impair cognitive function and lead to weight gain. Table 1 shows common characteristics of physical development from birth to 12, such as the progressive development of fine and gross motor skills and changes in physical appearance, enabling children greater exploration of their environment. Cognitive development of children identifies the changes in thought processes. Key theories are cognitive developmental theory and sociocultural theory. Piaget believed that children take an active role in their development. They continue to interact with their environment and build on what they already know. He did not, however, consider sociocultural or language impacts on development, unlike Vygotsky, who believed children learn through social interaction with others in their environment. He also believed that children learn by successfully completing more difficult tasks with the help of an adult that they normally would not be able to complete on their own. This is known as the zone of proximal development. Through teacher scaffolding, students learn to reach new heights. Sociocultural theory views that children learn a lot about language by the people they interact with daily, known as language socialization. However, Piaget's stages of cognitive development provide useful identification of development at various ages, although the ranges milestones are achieved is debatable. From birth to 2 years, Piaget's sensory motor stage, infants and toddlers learn about the world through sensory experiences. They touch and put everything into their mouths and learn from listening and watching. They learn that objects continue to exist even though they can't see them, which leads to attaching names to objects. Even if they can't say the name of an object, they may point to it when asked. At the same time, they also learn they are a separate person from the people around them. The pre-operational stage, children develop symbolic thought and begin to use words and pictures to represent objects. They have an inability to conserve, understanding that objects retain some properties even when it is physically transformed. They learn through fantasy and role play, yet still think very concretely about the world. Children tend to be egocentric and struggle to see different points of view. They also can't understand reversibility. Language and development from 2 to 5 years is also occurring at a rapid pace. The more a child is talked to, the easier they will pick up and understand language. Children start to develop in 4 areas: phonology, semantics, syntax, and pragmatics. They learn correct pronunciation, rapidly increase vocabulary, sentences get longer and more complex, learn plurals, tenses, and social rules of how to interact with others. Children experiencing problems in language development around this age can be referred to a speech therapist for early intervention. During cognitive operations stage, children start to think logically about solving problems, though they are limited to concrete examples. They understand the concept of conservation, reversibility, and cause and effect. They can see others' points of view which may be different to theirs. Around 12, Piaget's formal operational stage, children start to develop abstract reasoning, have longer attention spans and memory. They use logic and abstract reasoning to solve problems and enjoy games of strategy such as chess, which can improve these skills. Table 2 further explores common characteristics of cognitive development from birth to 12. Social emotional development is the development of children's skills to understand, express and manage their emotions, control behavior, feel empathy, establish relationships, initiative and moral reasoning. The relationship a child has with their parents, educators, and caregivers is vital to social and emotional development. According to Bowlby's theory of attachment, a child who has a secure parent attachment is likely to feel safe and confident to explore their surroundings and try out new things. If they are anxious, they are unlikely to do this. When a child is hurt, scared, or upset, they seek the comfort and security of their parent. Infants may exhibit characteristics of separation or stranger anxiety between the ages of 7 to 10 months. When separated from their parent or in the presence of a stranger, the child gets upset and cries. This gradually goes away during early childhood. Ainsworth further expanded attachment theory and identified types of attachment. The type of attachment is dependent on the responsiveness and quality of children's relationships with their parents and can vary depending on parents' views on how to raise their children and by children's behaviour or temperament. Children can develop multiple attachments, including peers, and attachments can change in type over time depending on the child's social interactions. Parents are a child's first teacher, and through attachment, help them develop the social skills to interact with others by modelling empathy, behaviour, good choices, conflict resolution, and showing kindness. Play with parents and peers also allows children to practice social skills and develop friendships. During early childhood, through cooperative play, children learn to deal with conflict, regulate emotions and negotiation, understand sharing and taking turns. Erickson's stages of emotional development identify struggles that people go through in two different emotions. During infancy, a parent who is in tune with the child's needs and responds in a warm and positive way, the child will develop trust that their needs will be heard and met by their caregiver, leading to a better ability to manage their feelings and cope with whatever comes their way. If not, they'll develop mistrust. Around 18 months, toddlers begin to assert their independence and want to do everything on their own, whether they are capable or not. If autonomy is encouraged and children are allowed to make safe and age-appropriate choices, they develop self-confidence and feel good about themselves. However, if they're restricted, they may develop feelings of shame or doubt their abilities and lack confidence to try new things. When preschoolers take initiative to try out ideas and take risks, if they are supported will grow and view themselves positively and capable. If they are criticised or told they can't do something, they will develop feelings of guilt and view themselves negatively. Table 3A sets out some of the relevant social-emotional characteristics from birth to 5. When children reach primary school age, at school they learn many new skills, develop academic competence, and at home they undertake real tasks, adult responsibilities, and develop social competence. If they are praised for their achievements, they display industry, working hard, and persistence. They will develop positive views of self and continue to do their best, but if they are constantly criticised by adults, they develop feelings of inferiority that nothing they ever do will be good enough. Kohlberg's theory of moral reasoning believes that people develop their own sense of what's right and wrong and re-evaluate these standards as they grow in cognitive ability. Pre-conventional morality, seen mostly in preschoolers and primary school-age children, is when children's sense of right and wrong is developing. Kohlberg believed at this first stage, children make decisions on what's best for them, ignoring other people's needs, avoiding behaviour that leads to punishment, and repeating behaviour that brings rewards. When a child begins to recognise that other people have needs in the second stage, they may try to satisfy them, but only if their needs are also being met. Conventional morality is when children's understanding of right from wrong is in line with society's conventions. It is evident in some older primary school-age children. During the third stage, children can see others' points of view, try to please others, and take this into account when making decisions. However, Kohlberg's theory is limited as it doesn't consider the impact parents and culture have on shaping children's moral development. For your reference, Table 3B further sets out relevant characteristics of social-emotional development from 6 to 12. Diversity. What makes us diverse? Children come from different backgrounds that affect how they learn, such as culture. See Case Study 1, which specifically details Aboriginal cultural diversity and the impacts to teaching, which is an important consideration for educators in Australia. Linguistic, disability, physical and mental. See Case Study 2 for a specific example on auditory processing disorder and implications for teaching. Socioeconomic, gender, religion, family structures, and intelligence. These different backgrounds create a different set of values, interests, skills, abilities, and needs, which children learn at different speeds and in different ways. All children, regardless of circumstance, have the right to high-quality education. The importance of diversity is reflected in the Early Years Learning Framework, National Quality Standards and the Australian Curriculum. What does this mean for teaching? Teachers need to embrace and respect diversity, be aware of own cultural biases that may impact conduct, set high expectations of all its students, create a classroom of inclusion, identify barriers and impact to learning, be knowledgeable through research and discussion with families, other educators and specialists, and adjust teaching strategies to meet the needs of students. Case Study 1 showing diversity in Aboriginal culture, and Case Study 2 showing diversity in disability. List of references. Thank you for listening.